gonna happen to us?
It's up to you!
And stop coming!
Why I have to go?
I'll follow you!
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the Pop Corner and welcome back to the episode number 12 of Cult Classic Sundays, my series where I watch a cult classic movie every Sunday for the very first time, suggested by you guys, and talk about them in my videos. And guys, after you guys enormously voted for it, this week I watched Possession from 1981. I had heard about this movie for years and so many people including YouTubers and my friends recommended it to me, but I never got around to watching it. So after seeing your response and the way you guys voted for it, I finally decided to watch it for this week's episode. And guys, honestly, I went into this movie knowing almost nothing about it, and after watching it I have one serious question for you guys. What the hell did I just watch? So today I'm going to share my complete honest thoughts about Possession, what worked for me, what didn't, and what I understood, and more importantly what I absolutely did not understand. And if you guys don't know about Possession, it is a psychological horror and thriller directed by Andrzej Żuławski, who also co-wrote this movie with Frederic Tuten. In the main cast of this movie, we have Isabelle Adjani, Neill, and Heinz Bennent. The movie premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in May 1981, where Isabelle Adjani won the Best Actress award. The story follows Mark, a man returning from the West Berlin, who discovered that his wife Anna wants a divorce and appears to be having an affair. But as Mark investigates, he discovers that Anna is hiding something far more disturbing than just another man. And before I get into my thoughts, here are few interesting facts that I found about this movie. Żuławski reportedly wrote the screenplay of this movie while he was going through a painful divorce himself, which heavily influenced the theme of the movie. This is what the people says. I don't know about that because I wasn't even born at that time. And as I told you, Isabelle Adjani won the Best Actress award at Cannes Film Festival, and the practical effects of this movie was done by legendary special effects artist Carlo Rambaldi, who also worked on E.T. And despite having an estimated budget of around $2.4 million, the movie only made $1.2 million worldwide, so it wasn't a box office success when it came out. So with that said, let's jump right into my thoughts. Guys, honestly, I always thought that Possession was going to be a straightforward horror movie. Even the title made me think that this movie is going to be about a woman being possessed and her husband trying to save her. But that's not what this movie is. It starts more like a relationship drama about a marriage falling apart, then it slowly becomes a suspense thriller, then a crime thriller, then psychological horror, and eventually body horror. And honestly guys, that constantly changing genre kept me interested. But I did have couple of problems with this movie. First of all, this movie is so loud. They were talking so loud, all the dialogues they were delivering, it was so loud. It was like you can't watch this movie on TV, because if you watch this movie on TV, you will be holding the remote in your hand the whole time. And I'm not just talking about the dialogues, I'm not just talking about the voice, the sound of this movie, the body language of the characters, the way they acted in this movie, it was so loud. It was, I know that at that time when this movie came out, people used to act so loudly with their bodies, but in comparison to nowadays movies, it will be considered as overacting in my opinion, but at that time it was considered as normal acting. And some of the fights between Mark and Anna were genuinely shocking. The violence between them felt so much extreme that at times I didn't know whether I was supposed to be horrified or just staring at the screen thinking what is happening. The other problem I had was the pacing of this movie. The first half of this movie felt quite dragged for me. It felt like the movie was going in circles. Anna disappears, Mark confronts her, they argue, they hurt each other, then Anna leaves again, and then the whole thing repeats again and again. Because the movie is over 2 hours long, I honestly think that it could have been around 90 minutes long and it could have kept the screenplay crisp. But then the second half completely changes the experience. When Mark starts discovering what Anna is actually doing, the movie becomes much more interesting. Especially the final 30 minutes, when Mark discovered the creature and finally understands what Anna has been doing. Even his face was basically the same reaction I had. What the hell is going on here? And then the movie almost becomes a crime thriller with Mark trying to deal with all the bodies, hide evidence and cover up everything. And for a moment the movie almost gave me hope that Mark and Anna going to end up together in the ending of this movie. But it didn't happen in the end, and that's where I think the movie's central idea becomes clear. Possession is ultimately about a marriage where two people have reached the point where they no longer want each other, but they still want an ideal version of each other. Anna finds the creature which eventually becomes a version of Mark, the perfect version of Mark that she always wanted. And Mark finds Helen, who looks exactly like Anna, but she's calm, she's sweet, warm and nurturing. So both of them essentially find replacement for the person they wanted their partner to be. That is the part I actually understood about this movie, and I thought it was really interesting. But everything beyond that, guys, I was completely lost. I don't know where the creature came from. I don't know exactly what the whole faith and chance conversation was supposed to mean. I don't know how much of what we were watching was literal or how much it was symbolic. And honestly guys, believe me, I actually tried to look up explanation after watching the movie, and somehow I became more confused after reading all the explanation that I found on the internet. But beside that, I absolutely have to praise the performances. Isabella Adjani was incredible. Her subway miscarriage scene was unbelievable. The physicality of her performance was insane. And now I completely understand why she won the Best Actress award in Cannes Film Festival. Sam Neill was also fantastic, especially as Mark becomes more and more unhinged throughout the movie. And if we talk about the direction is really impressive. There were several long one-take sequences that were really beautifully staged, and you can see that Żuławski had a very specific visual style. But then we got to the ending, and guys, I understand basically nothing. What the hell happened to Bob? Was he actually drowning or it was something else? What were those sirens? Was there a war or was there a apocalypse or some kind of alien invasion? And what exactly were those final scenes with the doppelganger supposed to mean? I genuinely don't know. And that's ultimately why, despite appreciating the performances, the direction, the idea and some of the individual scenes, I personally wouldn't call this a great movie. And I definitely wouldn't call it one of my favorite cult classic movie. For me, Possession was just okay. The second half was much stronger than the first. The performances were excellent and there were some unforgettable sequences, but the movie was simply too confusing and too slow for me to fully enjoy it. So guys, that was my completely honest experience of Possession. I went in expecting a straightforward possession horror movie, and instead I got a bizarre psychological relationship driven body horror movie that left me asking, what the hell did I just watch? Now I want to hear from you guys. When you first watched Possession, did you actually understand what was happening, or were you just as confused as I was? And if you have any explanation for the creature, the ending, the faith and chance stuff, or anything else that I completely missed, please tell me in the comments, or even better, write a small review of this movie, because I would genuinely love to know what you guys think about this movie. And don't forget to drop your suggestion for the next week's Cult Classic Sundays episode. So guys, that's all in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.